iRacing.com is a sim racing game that combines a true-to-life racing experience with an online community of virtual racers from all over the globe. iRacing offers a multitude of officially licensed cars and tracks, laser scanned with millimeter accuracy. Their car models and mechanical systems are based on real-world physics and engineered in cooperation with manufacturers and race teams. iRacing's web-based interface allows members to compare stats and test drive any combination of car and track instantly. Their skill license system ranges from rookie to pro, ensuring members are always pitted against those with similar skill sets. Members are able to sign up for a weekly race series, compete in time trials, host a private race with friends, and participate in racing leagues created and run by the community. With over 60,000 members, iRacing works in partnership with renowned motorsport organizations like SRO Motorsports Group to deliver virtual races based on the real-life Blancpain GT series. iRacing's Blancpain Endurance Series features team racing, giving members the ability to build a team and participate in races ranging from 3 hours to 24 hours. Additional partners include NASCAR, IMSA, V8 Supercars, IndyCar, allowing members to race in their very own 24 hours of Spa, Bathurst 1000, Daytona 500, and many more. iRacing.com, delivering the most authentic racing experience short of getting into a real race car.
Here at the V8 Supercar Online Premiere Series, we're really excited to see the amount of exposure and interest this championship has attained. We've recently been getting a lot of messages and comments asking questions about the series and how to get involved with it. So to make things a little easier for everyone, we've decided to create this video to talk about the basic facts of our championship and how you can get in on the action. V8SCOPS uses the racing simulation service iRacing. iRacing is different from other racing games in that it is not a one-off product that you purchase. It is instead an online-only subscription service. One pays a subscription fee to use the service and base content, and then purchases more individual cars and tracks on top of that. Available for purchase are both the Holden VF Commodore and Ford FG Falcon V8 Supercars from 2014, plus 3 Australian tracks, Phillip Island, Oran Park, and Mount Panorama. This is in addition to a large amount of cars and tracks from all over the world, and from many disciplines of motor racing. Full pricing information can be found on the website, www.iracing.com. If you're interested in trying out iRacing for a low price, we have our own discount code that you can use. Purchase a 3-month subscription, then at checkout, enter the code PR-V8SCOPS 2017. You'll get the 3 months for only $5 US. The platform is desktop computer. iRacing is not available on consoles, but that's no reason to be discouraged. iRacing's engine runs well on basic hardware, so chances are high that you can run it. Windows, Mac OS, and Linux are all supported. though the majority of races run Windows. Detailed system requirements can, again, be found on iRacing's website. In terms of controls, there is support for many control types, but it is strongly recommended that a force feedback wheel be used for the best and safest experience. So, how do you get involved in the series itself? Well, iRacing's main draw is its official series and events, which are sanctioned both by iRacing and many real-life racing organisations. Cars and series are organised into licence levels, determined by your safety rating, which is a measure of how safe your driving is. V8SCOPS, for the most part, is run outside this. It is a hosted series, independently run and managed by the community for the community. As long as you've managed to get your iRacing licence level to C or above, the series is open to anyone who can make the cut. To find us, jump on the member forums via the main website, and scroll down to the Ford and Holden V8 Supercars subforum. In there, you will find relevant threads for the V8 Supercar Online Premiere Series, where you can sign up, read briefings, and keep up with happenings in the championship, in addition to a wealth of discussions on the cars themselves and how to get the best out of them. We wish you the best of luck in your sim racing career, and thank you very much for checking out the V8 Supercar Online Premiere Series.
Hello everyone, welcome to V8's Align's coverage of the Phillip Island 500 the first portion of the Hyperstimulator Enduro Cup. Tonight will be qualifying action and top 15 shootout here in the awesome endurance race. The drivers teaming up, and to join me for this action tonight, Cameron Dance. Cam, welcome along It's going to be a fantastic night.
Yes, indeed it is. It is what you might as well say the pinnacle point of the season for these guys. The Enduro Cup is now finally upon us. Only qualifying today, but that is still as important as race day. So it's going to be interesting to see how these guys go about setting a time down for the grid slots and who can make it through to the top 15 shootout.
Top 15 shootout will be coming up at around about 8 o'clock Australian Eastern Standard Time. So in about an hour and a half's time, we've got an hour of qualifying coming up in around about 10 minutes time, which will be very, very intense. We're going to see a lot of jostling for position, especially from that around 11 to 20 position. Those last few spots in the shootout always come right down to the wire, and tonight I don't think will be any different.
No, I can't expect it to be any different to any other night. It's definitely going to be very, very close. And with the times we've seen in pre-qualifying, with it only being 1.1 seconds separating the entire top 40, it's going to be very close.
Yeah, the cut-off time, as you said, a full second separating the field, and the cut-off from 40th to 41st for the top guys actually making it in, around about 300ths of a second. Absolutely nothing between the top 45 odd cars field this week, which is pretty intense to think that the cars are that closely matched for pace. So it should be a very, very fun night tonight. And as we said, the shootout coming up later on is always very, very action-packed as well. I've got some very, very fun stats about that to come in between the qualifying and shootout, which will be very, very interesting. So if you're a bit of a stats nerd, you'll love the stats coming up later on. But tonight, as we said, we're at Phillip Island. We've got, as we said, 40-minute warm-up, 60-minute qualifying, 22 degrees temp. The wind will definitely be playing a little bit of havoc with these drivers as well. It's fairly strong, about 18 k's per hour, coming from the west, blowing across the track, helping them under brakes coming into MG. .11 minutes left in this warm-up session. Drivers will be getting acclimatised to the conditions. A little bit different from what we saw in pre-qualifying, but yeah, drivers are very, very accomplished and know how to do this. It'd be interesting though to see with a few teams who actually is the driver that does the qualifying laps. On screen at the moment, probably the hottest duo this field. Richard Hampstead at the wheel of the number 92 Hyperstimulator TTL Esports car, but teaming up with Josh Rogers, that'll be a very, very interesting duo to see who actually does the shootout laps. Probably find both of them will have a go, in regards to qualifying, that is.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see who does the laps, as you said. I mean, obviously with that TTL Esports car, it's a very strong combination, so it's going to be interesting. I'd say Rogers will probably do the laps, but yeah, it's hard to tell with how, just primarily due to the fact of how strong the combination is. Also, not to mention the TTR combination of the Harrop Racing with Jared Filsell and Josh Muggleton. So yeah, that's going to be another pairing to watch out for with these two.
Charlotte's in fourth at the moment. I think it's been the biggest surprise packet over this weekend. The team, the number 95 Synergy Sim Racing car with Glenn Postlethwaite and Leon Tander. Posy did a very, very good job in pre-qualifying. He's been right up in the top three for the 3 days of pre-qual, and being right up the pointy end. He'll be one to watch. He'll definitely be able to put on a good show here. If he can make that shootout, you never know what could happen.
Yeah, definitely. Posy's definitely done a very good job this week in pre-qualifying to do the times he has done. So Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what happens, and I'd say a couple of these up the front guys will be kind of scratching their head going, this is starting to become a bit of a worry, these guys.
It definitely turned into a little bit of a mixed bag. There's a couple of noticeable absentees for qualifying tonight too. The number 1 car is not here. So the number 1 car, which will be driven by Jake Burton and Madison Down, they will not be qualifying tonight, so they will have a rear of grid start, and they will start beside the number 40 Torque Inc. car, Mitch McLeod and Hayden Dodman, who also cannot qualify tonight. So those are the 2 cars that will start 39th and 40th on the grid. So interesting. That'll be rather tough for Madison and Jake, and also Mitch and Hayden, although they do have a few days to understand that they will be at the back.
Yeah, I'm not sure how that's going to go. It's definitely going to be tough with how close the times have been all week, but I'm sure Madison and Mitch can put the hammer down and move their way through the field. With it being an endurance race, it does also help a little bit that you're not having to rush and try and get those spots in the first few laps, and you can just take your time and move your way through the field. So yeah, I'd say it's going to be those guys are going to be ones to watch coming through the field in the race.
Another team that's done very, very well, a 1-car team. The only other 1-car team I can think of that attempted to qualify was Torque Inc. One Performance Racing, number 43 car with Jeff Rahali and Dylan Shepherd. They've done a great job to make within the top 20 in pre-qual, and at the moment they're out there currently in 16th, so right on the fringe for a potential shootout spot. So look out for those guys. It'll be very, very good to see them up near the front.
Yeah, definitely. It's always good to see small teams up front and fighting with those much bigger teams. So yeah, they're not too far off being inside that top 15 in warm-up at the moment, so it's looking promising for them and going into qualifying.
If you look for All-Star Motorsports this weekend as well, with new liveries on those cars. Supporting prostate cancer research. Well, on the Rack Corp number 248 car, driven by Thomas McMillan and Nathan Connor, with Thomas at the wheel at the moment. Great cause from the All-Star guys. They pick a different charity every year and go out and support it, so well done to those guys.
Yeah, definitely. It's always good to see guys racing for a cause in some way, and as you said, they've done a different one every year, so it's good to see the guys from All-Star getting behind causes and racing in support of them.
While we're running through a few drivers, another driver in All-Star Motorsports, Dame Warren, they've picked up a really, really good wild card in regards to co-drivers. Luke Harvey, who was a privateer, we're expecting him to jump in with the TTR guys because we've seen it that he has been racing with them in the AOSC. But gone to All-Star Motorsports and he's driving with Dame Warren, so that'll be very, very good pairing, and I would not be surprised if they're a dark horse for a podium. They could potentially pick up a podium, guys.
Yeah, it's been quite interesting with what Luke's decided to do, being with the fact that he's run with TTR and AOSC, but he's now jumped in with All-Stars for Scops and Juris. So yeah, it's a bit interesting to see that, but yeah, it's definitely going to be, they're definitely going to be one to watch with a possible podium on the cards if they can get the car set up and really be competitive.
Quite a few other strong pairings that there are drivers that have returned to the car after a little bit of time away as well. A driving standards observer is out on track. Michael Schreier, the number 30, the very, very retro livery. That's probably the most recognisable design livery in Australian motorsport, I would say, other than a Marlboro Tirana.
Yeah, it's very retro. Probably one of the most retro ones out there, I'd say, if I'm not mistaken. So yeah, that's quite good to see that they've actually, that the Synergy guys have actually gone out and done that sort of thing with this liveries for this round.
Put out a very, very cool video with it as well. Right on to Hobbo for that. Very, very cool video with retro commentary and all in amongst it. So, Australia big slide coming out of the final corner onto Gardner Straight. At the moment, the fastest lap is done by the 92, 129.0. Hearing from a few drivers that the track is slowing down very, very quick. So iRacing have had an update over the last couple of days, and it has changed the way the track evolves slightly. So the track is actually a little bit harder in regards to how you can actually get a lap time in. So you guys saying it'll be a 1 lap dash. Other guys saying it'll be good because they'll actually get a chance to try and get a lap in. Hey, well, we're nearly up to qualifying already. This warm-up session has flown by.
Yeah, it has actually. It's gone by pretty quick despite it being 40 minutes long. So, yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how qualifying goes with it being an hour long.
A good chance for some guys to actually get out there and do some laps and not stress too much about traffic and things like that. A bit of time to actually get their lap in that they're happy with and go out and have another run. Also get out there and let both drivers do some laps as well. This will be the first time pretty much all weekend that they've actually been around traffic, because a lot of the pre-qual sessions, there's probably 10 cars on track with the way that everyone's done it. Everyone sort of timed it to try and get away from other cars, which was very, very smart of them. We have, as we said, 38 cars tonight. 2 cars absent to make our 40-car grid for tomorrow. Oh, for those that are asking, where's Reese? Reese has a family function tonight, but he will be with us tomorrow night. So, unfortunately for you, you're stuck with myself and Cam. We'll try and be as entertaining as we can though, Cam, won't we? Try.
Yeah, always, as always. Actually, just to note before we head into qualifying, the track's actually taken a bit of rubber already, so it's of no surprise that some of the guys are actually starting to say that the track's actually slowing down.
Zan El Nabi on screen, currently 3rd in the warm-up session up in the Honda hairpin. Yeah, you can see the rubber through Honda there. It's very, very hard up, rubbered up. So we'll be definitely slowing down. So getting that first lap in is going to be very, very crucial. Will help us see a bit of a mixed bag, but that top 15 will fluctuate quite a lot. So 11th through 20th, and to try and get to that top 15 will fluctuate quite a lot.
Yeah, definitely will, and I wouldn't be surprised if we see sort of a quiet period at some point in the qualifying session with it being so long to just let these guys have the track cool down and then go back out and have another go.
Some guys will try and just get that banker lap in and then sit in the pits for half an hour or so, and other guys will just go out there and keep lapping and get his laps in. Don't know if you saw, Cam, but we actually added up how many laps were completed in pre-qualifying. It was over 11,000 laps in pre-qualifying. Massive amount of laps. That's amazing.
Yeah, that's an insane amount of laps. I can't exactly figure out how many it is, but it's a lot of Bathursts.
A few. Got Brady Myers on screen at the moment, currently 14th, so he'd be right on the fringe of that potential top 10 shootout, which we will find out in 1 hour's time from now. Checkered flag is about to fly for the warm-up session. Officially done. Guys will get ready. Our qualifying. here we go.
And everybody files out of pit lane as per the normal.
The first one in the line, Mitch Ciolak for TTL Esports, the 03 machine. So going to get the best advantage, the best potential chance of getting a lap in. But interesting, Jared Philcell, another different style retro car, a throwback livery more than a retro car. He's managed to get third in line, try and get this lap in. But we'll run with Ciolak for the first flying lap.
Number of these guys that are actually bunched up further back in the field will actually be wanting to back it off a little bit and get some space to the car ahead of them so that they don't get bogged too much if the guy bails out of his lap, actually.
It's quite messy back in the field a little bit there. Especially cars that are up in the pits, well, that are still waiting to go out and start their lap. But Ciolak comes through the final corner to start this first flying lap. Nice and quick coming down the main straight and into turn one. Of course, the no escape rule in effect too, so the guys can't just pull over at the end of this lap. Nice and clean through the first part of the lap. This is nice and smooth.
He's got it hooked up so far as he comes into Siberia.
Absolutely awesome track, this one. Favourite here at V8s Online. Through MG, still looking nice and smooth and nice and controlled, making sure he gets an optimal lap in. Coming through the final corner for the first flying lap. Across the line, it's going to be in the 29s, is it? Yes, it's going to be a low 29.
Very good.
29.2, so good first lap.
And Philip goes to the top with 29.0.
Great lap from Phil.
No,
Rogers.
as we say that, Rogers.
Got a Wayne Burke who's coming through the final corner. A bit of draft from his teammate ahead. Slots into fifth.
29.1, so very, very close at the moment between his teammate actually. So yeah, this is very close at the moment.
Ethan Greg Gould across the line. His lap time puts him into seventh with the 29.2.
Only 300ths off the 03. Piloted by Ciolak.
Not across the line. He's into 25th with a 31.0. Interesting to see how many guys continue on for this second lap. But most are coming back into the pits. Almost a lock-up, or almost a crash there. Rogers almost into the back of Al Nabi. Every single car is coming into the pits.
He left it in the pit lane.
Yeah.
Quentin O'Brien looks like he's staying out. And so does Michael Hammond, actually.
A replay of Phil coming into the lane and big lock-up trying to make sure he lost the speed before he got to the commitment cone, and I think he did.
Yeah, it looks like something you probably won't want to do on race day, actually.
No. Go again. Take 2 of this run. On screen we have the cut-off point. So at the moment, Jeffrey Harley in 15th, Brody Whitmore for Performance Sim Sport currently 16th. So they're just out of the shootout. But have a look at the gap between those two cars. 1,000th of a second is the difference from making the shootout and not.
Literally nothing in it, just about.
That's officially nothing between them, isn't it?
Pretty much. The closest you can get with is literally some exact times.
But there's been a driver swap as well. Yeah, TTL cars, because Hampstead's now gone out the number 92. Dane Warren P2, Phil Sell 3rd, Forzen Alnabi 5th, and Glenn Postlethwaite on screen at the moment, 5th position.
He's doing alright. He's not too far away from getting into 4th either, so if he can get a lap together, he might actually move up into 4th.
Of course, the aim of this is just to get out of this session inside the top 15. It doesn't matter about anything else. You just want to make sure you are in the top 15. A little bit wide coming into Siberia there for Posse. A little bit of a wiggle coming out as well.
On the grass a little bit there, on the exit.
Whoa! Big slide,
Moment.
almost into his teammate as well.
Yes, that was very close.
Ozzy's going to come in the pits here because that will be lap done. Go to Jordan Murphy, who is currently P17. They're just outside. Got to get 800ths of a second to gain a spot. And he'll pull into the pits this time. It's not going to happen. Crossing the line was Riley Blythe. He's in P18. Last lap just then did a 29.9. Lap before he did a 29.8. So no gain for him that time. Got a Michael Schreier. He's still in 19th position. Just starting a flying lap though.
Looking like he had it pretty hooked up through turn 1 in Southern Loop there.
Stayed on the throttle for a long time coming into Honda as well. A little bit of a lock up, but not too bad. Got through it pretty clean. We'll make the shootout. A 10th will be enough.
Yep, and that is not a lot when you're a racing driver.
We don't think that the front time will be beaten now with Hampstead 2/10 clear of Warren, Bilsal, Al Nabi, Postlethwaite the top 5, Wayne Burke 6th, Siolak 7th, 8th is ERT number 15 with Ethan Grigg Gould. Schreier crosses the line, improves, and he's into the shootout at the moment. 13th position.
Very nice time. He'll be pretty well happy with that.
Will for sure. And find someone in that group of cars that are on a flying lap. The ride on the bubble now is Jake Maloney and John Latham in the number 29. Maloney's continuing on here, so this lap time for him must be right on the fringe of an improvement. Will he improve? It looks like it might be about the same lap time. 400 slower.
Not a lot difference.
Nothing in it. Gordon Murphy about to start another flying lap for ANZ Motorsports. Of course, teaming up with Cooper Murray, the 116 machine. How committed he can be here, coming up through Stoner Corner, out of the southern loop. Car off the track just to the side there as well would have impacted his vision a little bit. Change of gears as well, coming through Honda, and big lock up, and that'll be lap done. Unlucky for Jordan, he'll have to go back and have another crack at it. Pretty cool looking livery out there is the number 34 machine. Thomas Hinds, our very, very good friend here at V8 Line. He's teaming up with Simon Mazzomo for Pro Force Racing. They're running the Red Bull Holden Racing Team livery that Shane Van Gisbergen will run next weekend.
Yes, indeed, and someone's actually done not too bad of a job actually painting that up.
Hinsey coming across the line, really improved, currently 34th, 10th off it. Loney's just started another flying lap, I believe.
No, he's just come out of pit lane actually.
It's alright. Riley Blythe is on a flying lap though, He's currently 19th position. Bit of lap traffic away. Oh, big moment too. Almost into the back of the tempo car.
Really had to do a second take of the corner to not run into the back of that car.
Yep, he'll come into the pits because that would have hampered his lap quite a bit. Been a little bit of a move. Number 68 machine, Emily Jones at the wheel, up into 18th position. Emily has got the unlucky task of teaming up with Sandman for this weekend's event. So our commiserations to you, Emily. Sandman will hate me for saying that, but that's alright.
Probably will.
Hello, Sandman. Not much left. I'll just see a car blow up too.
That was just lunch your engine.
Yeah.
That was one of the All-Star cars.
Yeah, I think 313.
Thomas McMillan.
Thomas McMillan. So they're in 23rd. That's them done. They won't be able to get back to the pits. Of course, the rule is no teammate help, so they can't get pushed back to the pits either. So they are
Yeah.
out. If we can get a Cup Price Racing replay and see what happened. Just down the gears a bit too aggressive. Didn't like it too much and bang.
Yeah, it's not entirely bulletproof, these gearboxes, so you do have to take care of them a little bit. Not quite Formula 1 spec.
Your car's now out, starting to do race runs or shootout style laps. Dane Warren currently P2. The team with Luke Harvey, so that'll be a very, very good pairing. Just now go to Jeff Rahali, who is starting that flying lap. 63 thousandths of a second to gain one spot. On screen is the top 15 as it stands right now. So Hyperstimulator number 92 of Hampstead and Rogers currently fastest in this session, then Warren and big slide from Rahali. Warren and Harvey, Bilsell and Muggleton, Al-Nabi, McMullen, Postlethwaite and Leon Tander in P5. Big wiggle again for Rahali.
Just struggling with power down traction by the looks of it. Oh, even they're coming in a pit lane as well.
Trying to find a bit extra grip, but struggling to find it. Tell you what, if you guys like Brady Myers, 13th position, Sam Blacklock, 14th position, Stuart Vaughan, 14th, sorry, Sam Blacklock in 12th, Jake Maloney, 15th. Be a little bit nervous right now. Just noticed Michael Schraer has gone quicker again, so he's now up to 11th position.
Yeah, the guys in those last three positions or so definitely be starting to possibly become a little bit nervous with the fact that they're that close to the bubble, and Maloney, with him being on the bubble, will be really hoping that he can try and get a lap time in.
Watch this lap coming up for Brady Myers, about to start a flying lap. Target time, current best time I should say, is a 29.5. Gain a 10th and he's pretty much safe, I would say. Top 10 at the moment separated by 4/10 of a second, or just over 4/10 of a second. Top 20 is 1 full second. But from 13th, 20th is 1/4 of a second. That's scary close.
Yeah, it's very close.
Nice and smooth from Brady under brakes there, coming into Honda hairpin up through Siberia. Oh, a little bit of snap oversteer there. Big bit of wheel work, but got it under control pretty quick, so may not have cost him any time. It has, it's fairly minute. Down the hill at MG.
Oh, bit of traffic ahead of him.
Might get a little bit of help with that traffic coming down the front straight, depending on how his time is, because there's going to be a fair bit of draft going on. Going to have 2 cars ahead, so he's going to get a very, very nice tow coming out of the final corner onto the Gardner Straight. Any improvement will do for Brady Myers. Won't be able to do it. 29.8 for that lap.
3/10 slower and his quickest, which probably goes to show you how much the track has actually evolved
Yep.
and slowed down.
Jeffrey Harley on screen at the moment, so the bubble boy as it stands right now. Oh, loops it. Siberia.
Oh,
This is a big, really strange sort of spin too.
yeah, it looks like he just got up on the curb a little bit too much and unloaded the car.
He actually got the rear wheel on the curb by the looks as opposed to just the front. About to say we'll go to Riley Blythe, who's about to start a lap, but he is off at Southern Loop, so we'll have to go and start again on P20. Jake Maloney's just starting a lap though, so currently 15th. Not much time to the car behind him. 8/100ths of a second. Current best for Maloney is a 29.686, teaming up with John Latham for the Endurance Cup. A very, very strong pairing. A bit of trivia, Jake Maloney, the only driver to complete every single lap in V8SCOPS this season so far.
Yeah, he has, which is very impressive. Just goes to show that consistency is key in the series. He's currently sitting up there at the pointy end of the championship, so if he can have a good couple of rounds in these remaining rounds, he may actually possibly have a shot, if not win the championship.
So he's not going to complete that lap. Jones is on a flying lap though, I believe. Currently in 18th position, need to find 3 spots. We're in about 15/100ths of a second. 1.5 tenths. Pretty much get them into the shootout. Sounds easy. Very much not. Big block up coming down the hill at MG. Managed to hit the apex though, which is very, very positive. Right out of the second to last corner, but comes into the pits.
I'd say that lockup is probably the reason why.
Yeah, I would agree. Go to Jordan Murphy once again. Was on the bubble, now back into 19th position. So we have seen a fair bit of movement in this 11th to 20 bracket.
I think the track actually might be cooling off a little bit, the less activity at this point, so
A lot of
a
cars
couple
in
of
the
guys
pit
might be
lane.
actually... Yeah, there is actually, and a couple of guys have actually left the session as well, notably the TTL esports car that's currently sitting at the top of the timesheets with Josh Rogers and Richard Hampstead. So, yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what these guys that are still on the server can do.
Car that I'm looking at as well, it's back in the timesheets a little bit, that I would say will start to move up if the track does evolve. This lap will not be an improvement for Murphy. Does a 130.3. Still Autotech number 18 car. Michael Healy at the wheel, teaming with Lee Alice. They're back in 29th.
Yeah, they're quite a far way down the order by the looks, which is A bit strange for those two, knowing that Healy and Ellis are actually quite a good combo.
It's a pairing you'd expect to be up pushing for podium positions in the top 5 around that area. Not back in 29th, but the track is definitely changing once again. So starting to come back to a few drivers. We might see the time start to shuffle again. Got 34 minutes on the clock, so almost halfway through this session. Guys starting to come into the pits. Waiting in the pits a little bit longer. A few guys, as you said, have left the session. The track is definitely changing. Stuart Vaughan on screen at the moment in the number 027 Performance Sim Sports machine. Up with Jamie McKnight. About to start a flying lap. Here we go.
Oh, just running a little bit wide. That might have been an off track, actually.
Yeah, I think that would be. Like he's got out of the throttle. Lap done. Worst place to do it, I think, on turn 1, because you've got such a long way to be angry at yourself before you go again. Got a Stenberg who is actually simulating a race run at the moment. 131.4. They're on a full tank of fuel. Up with Sam Blacklock, who did punch in that lap time.
Ooh, bit of a lock up there in Southern Loop. He's just run a bit wide onto the gravel. Or just into the track.
Through now the 00. Simon Black and Henry King. Duva Racing entry. Pretty cool looking livery. Those guys all are just ahead though. That's Kyle James.
Oh, James, yeah.
Yep. Got Sandra Delilah, had a bit of a moment there. Currently 37th in the session.
Yeah, it looks like he just lost it on under power by the looks of it, and it just sped him off.
Harley's on another lap. Just out of the shootout as it stands right now. Find a 10th. Sounds so easy to say needs to find a 10th. Not easy in the slightest. There's very, very little grip out there. So many cars, so competitive in 40-car field. Harley's continuing on, so this lap must be pretty close. Is this an improvement for Harley?
Looks like it was actually, but not quite enough.
On a 129.727.
That was a very close one there with Hammond.
Messy. That was a little bit messy there with Hammond and also King. Trying to get out of the way, but didn't quite do it as nicely as they were intending to. Michael Hammond at the wheel at the number 100. Hearing a car locking up just ahead.
Losing it.
Okay. Go back to number 100, Michael Hammond at the wheel. Another retro livery.
Indeed it is. I think it's more of a throwback with it being run in the early 2000s by Stephen Richards.
Perkins Engineering, or Perkins Motorsport as it was back then. Famous number 11. Amazing to think Hammond at the moment is in 24th. You can find 2/10, he jumps 10 spots, nearly. Pretty close to 10 spots. Amazing how close this field is at the moment.
Yeah, it's absolutely unbelievable.
Brady Myers on screen, currently 14th position. His best lap is a 129.5. Kicked under half an hour left in this session. Two of these teams should try and work together and maybe get a bit of draft down that front straight to find those couple extra hundredths that they need, because we're now talking hundredths. We're not talking tenths anymore, we're talking hundredths. Change positions. We've got a few teams that have got multiple cars. Surprised that more teams aren't working together.
Yeah, it's interesting to note that because of how much the draft can actually help here. So yeah, I'm not exactly sure why teams aren't actually working together, but it could be down to the fact of how competitive it is. And those hundredths, like you said, aren't a lot of time to find, and it's primarily going to come from either a draft or trying to get yourself into that, or trying to find the car's limit, more or less.
Number 68, Emily Jones at the wheel, on screen at the moment, 18th position. Over 2/10 of a second, we'll find them into the shootout. It's tight. Can't believe how tight it actually is in that mid-pack. That 11th through 20th position. Michael Schreier's proof that you can still do it.
Yeah, definitely.
He's way back and now he's into 11th. And he gained half a second as well over the last, or after that first flying lap. So definitely can be done. We're seeing nearly half the field already have left. So we've got half the amount of cars that we had earlier on track as Jones continues on this lap. So this must be an improvement or close to. 28.7, I think. Or 29.7. 29.8, so exactly the same time, essentially. 8 hundredths of a second slower than the best time that Emily Jones has set. Jeffrey Harley's back on another flyer. Was teaming up with Dylan Shepherd, and he's out of it already. Number 92 car, they've left, they're done. 95 car, they're done. The 89 car, it's done. The 88 car, it's done. At the back of the field, the 00 is not on track at the moment. The 515 is not on track at the moment, just on cue. That one comes out. 014, done. And the 227 is also done, as obviously as well. McMillan in the 248, they're done as well with a blown motor. Few cars that have decided to pack up, go home already.
Yeah, it's quite interesting to see that, as a number of these guys could actually possibly improve.
Here we go. This is what I was just talking about. I think someone's listening in the broadcast. Number 85, Al Nabi. Have a look who's tucked up behind to try and get a bit of draft down the front straight. Follow on through. Is the number 027, Stuart Vaughan. Teammates teaming up together to try and get a little bit of draft down the front straight. Vaughan's about to start his flying lap. This is the start of the flyer. We'll see what top speed is that Vaughan gets up to here with the draft advantage.
About 5 or 10k an hour
Yeah.
extra.
Hit 280. Always run wide though. That wide line sometimes isn't completely bad because of the way the corner profiles. And off pulls Al Nabi. Pretty good from Vaughan so far. Out of it. He'll be going for another crack at it. I don't think he will. Good to see Stenberg still just going on. Cutting around in the in these race style laps. 1:31.8 his last lap, but punching out race numbers at the moment. Go to the 009. Marty Carroll at the wheel, teaming up with James McKnight. SDC Motorsport. Pairing that's been together quite a lot, these two. They pair up nearly every enduro that we've had.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they've paired up in every single one.
Hearing from Scott Larnack that he forgot to put enough fuel in the car, so that's why he's done. He's parked on the side of the track.
Yes, that would explain why it was parked on the exit of Southern Loop.
Yep.
Which I saw earlier in the session. I was wondering why it was parked there with no motor running. But you didn't blow an engine because I checked, so it's a bit strange to see that.
Driver change in the ANZ Motorsport number 116. Cooper Murray's taken the wheel of that one now. Try and get this lap in. I think we'll see a few drivers start to do that driver swap as well to try and get that time in, but Josh Rogers setting the fastest lap, 28.8. Dane Warren, Jared Philsell, falls down El Nabi, Ben Postlethwaite, Wayne Burke, Brad Ryan, Ethan Grigg, Gordon Ross, and David Moore round out the top 10. Then Shreya Maloney, Stenberg, Myers, and Vaughan. Drivers who are looking at this cut-off spot with Rahali Stratford, Jones, Riley Blythe, and Cooper Murray on screen. Starting a flyer right now. .76 before he got on the break. So there was the about 4 or 5k advantage that we saw Stuart Vaughan did have with that teammate draft. Nice and smooth through Siberia for Cooper Murray so far. Current best is a 29.8.
Oh, that's a bit of a
whoa, commitment plus. Big wiggle, held onto it. A little bit of an internet glitch at the same time. Time that will get him into the shootout is a 29.6. If you can do a 29.5, he's in for sure.
As well.
Been a very committed lap from Cooper Murray, just a little bit wide coming through the second to last corner. I think he is lap done, and he is pulled into the pits. Let's flip to Matt Stratford in 041 performance sim sports car. They bit of a wiggle, so he's going to bring it back to the pits and have another crack. Oh, just noticed Emily Jones has moved up to 15th as well.
Oh, she is too.
Last lap with his 29.627 and just gets it into the shootout. So at the moment, shootout has shuffled. Nothing between Emily Jones and Stuart Vaughan. So now eyes will be on Stuart Vaughan to see if he can reply, make it into the shootout. Jeff Rahali's still going out. He's now dropped back to 17th position.
Just under 20 minutes as well, so
I tell you what,
guys in that area will be really wanting to get in there.
Yep. Stanley might have to start stopping being in race mode and actually get out there and do some quali runs, because the way that the track is changing, under a bit of pressure there in 13th.
Yeah, he is. And I think some of these guys that have left the session as well might actually get caught out a little bit here with the now cooler track.
Right, so Rahali starts. Looking to get 29.62. Do any quicker than a 29.62? Be in the shootout. 29.63 isn't enough. Sounds so close. And Rahali's been so close so many times too. It's going to be an interesting last 15 minutes. Good power down there coming through Siberia. Our community is coming through Hayshed. Big wiggle, but stayed in the power. Down the hill at MG. Going to get a bit of draft down the front straight too, depending on how this traffic goes. This could be a big advantage if you can get the advantage of these cars. And they all pull into the pits. That was anticlimactic.
Yes, it was, unfortunately.
Stratford about to start a flying lap. The 18th position for him. Needs to find about 1.5 tenths will get him into the shootout. Absolutely nothing. Another car that I'm just noticing as well that is out there. Michael Healy just starting a flying lap in the number 18 car. Currently 31st for that car. A long way out of position.
Oh, we ran wide on the exit of turn 1 there as well.
Moment. Keep an eye on both of those cars. My voice is breaking up a little bit. I actually am coming down with a cold, so hopefully I don't blow a gasket tonight, and I've still got a little bit left in the tank for tomorrow. Bradford nice and smooth through Siberia and behind. I was about to say Ellis, but it's Healy in Lee Ellis's car. Nice and smooth as well. Stratford into the final complex. Through turn 11. Through all the gears up in to the final corner. The front straight. Stratty does not improve. 30.2. Tell you who did improve though is the 18. It's jumped 8 spots up to 23rd now. another 0.2 of a second gain or find another 8 spots.
Yes, so it's definitely starting to get to that point of where the track's starting to become much better than it was.
Yep, starting to get a little bit quicker and interesting as well. Have a look who else has jumped out on track. Jared Philsell's back out there on track. Possibly they're listening as well to what we've been saying and looking to draft as well, because out there right behind Emily Jones at the moment, who is on a flying lap as well. Actually just completed a flying lap by the looks. Possibly with the help from Philsell. Improved though, but if Harley can improve again. Last flying lap he completed, he did improve, but he wasn't enough to gain a spot. Now got 2 spots ahead of him to gain to get into the shootout. 1/10 of a second is all he needs. Harley's into the pits. Oh, who started to see a little bit of pressure. Number 47, Sam Blacklock's jumped back behind the wheel. Gone back into qual spec. And away they go again. And I think they know that the track's starting to change. The Cooper Murray on screen, 19th position. On a flying lap at the moment, needs around about 1/4 of a second to get into the shootout, but not much needed. Get to the car ahead, just on a 10th. Here comes Murray, about to cross the finish line. I think this is an improvement.
Yes, it is.
It is, yep. Still in the same position, but did improve in time. And I think he's just about to break the golden rule, and he has.
Yes, he has, unfortunately.
Race controller onto it. So Cooper Murray is going to get the bad news that he's escaped and he's going to get disqualified from the rest of qualifying. Broken the cardinal rule, the golden rule in V8SCOPS is no escape rule. One rule we've had from day one. Qualifying, can't escape your car, got to stay out on track. Race control will be getting that message to him. James McKnight on screen on a flying lap at the moment, currently P21, so a driver swap's happened in that car because Marty Carroll was at the wheel not too long ago. Currently their best lap is a 1:30 flat. Won't take much. Won't take much to gain a spot there. Just being sent funny messages from Richard Hampstead as well, so that's always good while you're commentating to get messages sent to you. You probably get them too, Cam?
Yeah, I do a little bit.
Probably from that same person. McKnight only has to find 0.08 of a second to gain a spot. If he can find 0.03 of a second, he'll gain 2, but he's pulling into the pits, as is the ANZ Motorsport car of Cooper Murray, because he has been told he is done. And puts it in the fence, so definitely done. Emily Jones on screen, and have a look who's just up ahead.
Yes,
Two
indeed.
TTL cars helping tow along. So they've started to think about this a little bit logically. Michael Healy, they're currently 23rd. As we said, gain another 2/10. He's pretty much on the fringe of the shootout. Emily Jones will be wanting to gain one more spot to make sure that she's in the shootout. Blacklock also back out on track to try and get into the shootout. Jeffrey Harley's still pushing on to try and get into the shootout. We're into the final 10 minutes.
It's going to be go time for the guys left.
Through MG they come. Keep an eye on the time for both of these cars. See where the big movement is. See if Healy... They're all continuing on, so this must be some sort of gain here. Phil, big moment. Coming out of the final corner. Over the line goes Healy. That's an improvement for sure.
Not quite an improvement for Jones,
no.
though.
Jones pretty much the same time last lap around. 0.02 of a second slower. And fastest lap for Healy, but no positions gained. They've still got time.
Yeah, indeed they do. So it's going to be very close to see what happens.
Cars from 13th through to 24th are all out on track to try and get in a position.
It's a bit of a moment from Phil Sell there.
I think he might be actually trying to play a little bit of fun and games at the moment. Go to Jeffrey Harley. He is just completed a lap. And he's done a 29.79. So just off his best lap. About 7/100ths off. Go to Matt Stratford, who is on a flying lap. He's going to go around the final corner and continue on. Across the line he goes and does a 31.2, so that's not even close to an actual competitive lap time. James McKnight just starting a flying lap, so we'll go with him at the moment. We said before, he doesn't have much to gain some spots. Car ahead, 8/100ths. Car ahead of that is 8 1,000ths, I should say. Then 12 1,000ths to the next car ahead. The 200ths of a second gets him 2 spots.
Yeah, and that's not a lot of time to find, especially when you're already probably pushing at your peak performance anyway.
I think they're all pushing well past their performance levels, but they're just trying to eke that tiny little bit more. Hopefully they can get that golden lap that they've been working and trying for. Noticed another bit of movement on the timing sheets. The 0.26. Jake Blackhall and Brenton O'Brien. That's just moved up a few spots and now up in the 24th position. See what McKnight can do here. Across the start-finish line. I think this is an identical lap time.
Pretty much
The same time, yeah. So a tenth of a second, essentially.
Yeah, pretty much.
300ths of a second slower than his already best lap time. For Harley's just coming out to have another crack at it. And Brady Myers has actually come back out on track. Starting to feel the pressure a little bit. In 14th position, knowing that these guys behind are out there hunting him down. He's gone back out to try and make sure he doesn't lose that spot, because the track is definitely getting quicker.
Yeah,
Don't come back.
Yeah, it definitely is. And also with...
Have a look at the
way
TTL train.
Yeah, it's a 4-car train.
4 cars all together. All trying to work together. I think for 2 reasons. One, to move Emily Jones up 1 spot at least, and maybe Sam Blacklock up as well. Move that number 18 car up.
As well.
Yeah. This is going to be interesting.
All aboard the TTR train.
Yep. The Healy in 23rd, Blacklock in 13th, and Jones in 15th. Tagging along behind Phillip, who is in 3rd. We tick to 4.5 minutes left in this qualifying session. My voice is definitely disappearing. Rahali about to start a flying lap as well. Riley Blythe's about to finish one, so we'll go to Blythe quickly and then we'll go back to the TTR train. The T train. Blythe, current best is a 29.8 and he pulls into the pits. Makes it a little bit anticlimactic. So we go back to the TTR cluster of cars. The first across the line will be Healy. Actually, just noticing there's another change is Michael Hammond is up to 23rd. So Healy back to 24th. He crosses the line. Jumps to 19th. Emily Jones does not improve, neither does Blacklock. So now I have 3 TTR cars inside the top, inside that gap from 11th to 20th. Movement for Michael Hammond is now up to 23rd position. Best lap of a 29.8. But 3 minutes left, so one more run for these guys. Then Jeff Rahali into the pits as quick as he can get to go out for one more run. Riley Blythe also just coming out to start his final flying lap. James McKnight on track at the moment, also about to start his final flying lap. Going to be very, very interesting this last couple of laps here.
Yeah, it definitely is. It's about 2.5 minutes, so there's not very long left and not many laps to get in.
027, Stuart Vaughan at the wheel in 16th position. They're done. They're finished. They're not going back out by the looks.
No, it does not by the looks of it.
Brady Myers in 14th position. He looks like he's done as well. He's sitting in the pits, not going again. Jeff Rahali's just started, or just coming out of the pits to start his final flying run. James McKnight about to start his final flying lap. 2 minutes on the clock, so this is it. Current best lap is a 1:29.872. Amazingly, quarter of a second will get him in the shootout as it stands right now. But we've said it many, many times, 200s gets him 2 spots. It'll get him into 20th. You can find a full 10th. That'll get him up into 17th or 18th. And I don't think the TTR cars have got enough time to get back out there for another run. Brady Myers has just got back out on track. Going to be very, very close for Blacklock. He might get back out there for another go, but Lee Jones is done. So rolling the dice, essentially, not by choice, just by the fact there's no time left on the clock.
Yeah, which is really unfortunate, actually. She could have actually possibly very well made it into the top 15.
At the moment, still in the top 15. Not by much, though. But McKnight will come across the line this time around for his final flying lap. Currently 23rd position. Will he improve? I think he has. Oh, does improve by 4 1,000ths of a second. Still in 23rd position.
And he's got one last attempt at it as well if he wants to.
Try and go again. Probably isn't anything left in the car. Go to Jeff Rahali. 17th. Been trying and trying and trying, and I'm sure if he... Oh, he's just looped it through Honda, so that's him done. Checkered flag is about to fly. Clock has hit 0. This is it. And number 47 hasn't made it to the start-finish line. Michael Healy's done. Bill Dodd is also done. Riley Blythe's done. Brady Myers is also done. So I think everyone is pretty much done. Coxhead might be the last driver on a flying lap. And he's run wide.
Delilac's going to finish this lap.
They're way back. Last position at the moment. 38th. And how's that?
And
right on
jumps
the
to
last
30th.
lap. Up to 30th. Gain 8 spots on the final flying lap. Wow, what a session. That just took off right at the end.
Yeah, it was. We had a feeling it was going to be do your lap really and then probably don't need to go back out, but some of these guys definitely proved that at the end of the session you definitely can improve.
Brady Myers crosses the line on his last flying lap. A little bit off the pace. About 4/10 off his best. Hobson also crosses the line about 5/10 off his best. But that is qualifying run, done, and complete. For the Phillip Island 500, the unofficial results on screen. But fastest in this session, Josh Rogers, that first flying lap, 28.8, fantastic lap. Dane Warren and Luke Harvey second. Phil Sal Muggleton next in third. Then Alnabi McMullen and Postlethwaite Tander rounding out the top 5. Wayne Burke, Dean O'Brien 6th. Mitch Ciolak, Brad Ryan 7th. Ethan Griggoult and Ian Ford in 8th. Jordan Ross, Adam Wyborn in 9th. Brenton Hobson and David Moore 10th. And to finish off the top 15 for the shootout, we've got Michael Schreier, Reece Goldfinch, Jake Maloney, and John Latham in 12th. Emily Jones, Stephen Clark in 13th. 14th is Hammond and Bentz. And 15th position, Synergy Sim Racing car number 143, Jordan Ross and Adam Wyborn. I was just updated a page on me. That's a bit strange. Hang on.
It has two actually.
Let's go this one. Yeah, here we go. We'll go again. Go through the second part of the top 10. The 11th, Schreier and Goldfinch. Then 12th is Maloney Latham. 13th, Stenberg Blacklock. This looks a bit better. Pitties and Myers in 14th position. Emily Jones and Stephen Clark 15th. McKnight and Vaughan 16th. Miss out by 2,000th of a second. Then got Burton and Will Dodd, Shepherd and Rahali. Stratford and Freddie Whitmore and Jake Blackhall, Brent O'Brien. Rounding out the top 10. We'll have the full results up on our Facebook page tomorrow morning once field has been finalised with race control. Having a few issues to look at. Heard from them that the things that they are looking at is very, very... But that's qualifying done. We've now got a shootout. How exciting. Can't wait.
Yeah, definitely. I can't either. It's going to be very interesting to see how this goes. And these guys are definitely going to have to be 100% commitment and make sure they don't make any mistake at all if they want to get that pole position for tomorrow's race.
Now we wait around about 15 minutes or so for the top out underway. But as promised, we've got a little bit of stats and... But before we do, might run as they are after the last round. No surprise, Jared Philsell on top. 1,723 points. Jake Maloney P2. Madison down in third. Ian Ford 4th. And Jake Burton in 5th. Very, very tight though from round about 5th back, you got David Moore, Sam Blacklock, Josh Rogers, Ethan Gould, and Kurt Stenberg rounding out the top 10. Then Sam Sutton, Hampstead, Luke Harvey, Glenn Postlethwaite, Wayne Burke, John Latham, Forzan El Nabi, Dame Warren, Ryan O'Sullivan, and Kylie rounding out the top 20. The teams championship, which is a little bit mixed up as well. But the Fuel Autotech TTR number 1 car leading, or sorry, TTR1 I should say, one which is memory blank here, Madison Down and Jake Burton. They're leading the way from the TTL Hyperstimulator. Jake Maloney and also John Latham. Apex Replicas TTR Rising Stars, which is Sam Blacklock and Kurt Stenberg. They're currently in 3rd position. So the teams championship definitely a little bit mixed, but in saying that, at the same time, sort of the guys you'd expect as well. I think I've just self there in saying that, but you understand what I mean. It's a little bit mixed up in the order, but in saying that, still the top guys all there or thereabouts.
Yeah, definitely. It's very interesting at this point in the championship with how the standings are looking for the teams and drivers' standings. So, yeah, with not many rounds left, it's going to be starting to get to that point of crunch time and making sure you can score as many points as possible.
Now we talk about shootouts. Had 5 shootouts we've had within V8SCOPS before. So we had the Bathurst 1000 back in 2014. Then 2015 we had 2, Phillip Island and also Bathurst. So, sorry, we had Spa and Bathurst, Island Bathurst last year. So 5. 3 drivers have made all 5 up until the start of tonight. You want to have a guess at who they would be?
I'd say Madison Down, Jared Philsell. I'm going to presume Josh Rogers would be a 3rd one, although I think he may have missed one. And I think the other 2 would be Ethan Gregolt and one, I think Jake Byrne, but I'm not 100% sure on that one.
Got 1. As that
No.
1. So out of the 5 shootouts we've had 3 people make all 5. One of those, the one you got right, was Jared Philsell. The other 2 that have made every shootout previously, actually we might wait, but let's see if everyone in the chat can guess they were. But yeah, I was actually surprised that so adding up in my head how many made a shootout. 38 drivers have made a shootout. And only 5. Sorry, only 3 have made all 5. We'll wait a couple of minutes for people to try and work it out. While you're saying Madison Down, better tell my stats nerd that's not good enough. But yeah, I do know that Madison, I think, has only been in 2. Well done to Leon Tander. Michael Schreier is one of those 3. He has made every shootout, including tonight, so you'll continue that record. But who's the other one? I'll give you as a clue. He's a Kiwi that lives in Australia.
I should know this one, but I can't remember at this point.
Answer to that is Sean Kelly. Sean Kelly's the other driver that has made all of the shootouts. Of course, up until tonight, because he's making 4 out of the 5, Richard Hampstead and Sutton. Making 3, Josh Rogers, Mitchell McLeod, Ian Ford, and Oxhead. Ethan Grigult with 2. Muggleton, Zen El Nabi with 2. Brenton Hobson with 2. Dean O'Brien with 2. Now, average starting position. Obviously, Phil Sells made 5 shootouts. Who do you think would have the best average starting position? You're racking your brain here. You're going back over notes and everything, aren't you?
Yeah, I'm trying to remember. I'd have to probably take a guess and say Michael Schreier.
Michael Schreier's average starting position from shootouts is... But best average starting position... I'll actually give a couple of minutes for people to work it out. A hint is it's not Jared Filsell, but he is second. Best average starting position. I feel like I'm playing a game of Jeopardy. Sale of the Century or something like that. I'm playing one of these game shows. I've always wanted to be a game show master.
It does feel like that, a bit like that at the moment.
It's not Madison Down, no. Famously, I'm going to give it away here, but famously had a surprise starting position at Spa back in 2015. Anyone wants to remember back to 2015 who had a great run at Spa? Definitely wasn't me. I've never made a shootout, although I have. When we talk about Bathurst, I actually rate the Bathurst stats. How's that?
That's impressive.
Impressive, isn't it? I'm actually surprised how high up I ranked in the Bathurst stats, but we'll give it another minute or so. It's definitely not Rogers, and it's definitely not Burton. Well done to Jared Filsell. Ethan Grigult got pole in his first shootout at Spa and a second at average start of 1.5. So there you go. So that's shootout stuff. But talk a little bit Bathurst numbers when I get them on the screen. Clicking the wrong buttons here. So there's been 300 drivers start a Bathurst 1000. 167 have finished. 111 drivers have started 2 Bathursts with 64 finishing. How many drivers do you think have started all 3 Bathurst 1000s we have run?
I'm going to say 220.
Way less. Way less. So there's only 64 that have finished 2 Bathursts. Definitely less that have done all 3 and have completed all 3. I'm actually surprised at how low this number is, the number of drivers that have completed every Bathurst we've run. Below 50. Actually very surprised. And get the on the screen. If I click, I think I would have learnt how to click buttons on this thing by now, wouldn't you? but I
I
haven't.
think so.
I haven't. No idea what I'm doing here. There. There's the best of Bathurst on screen. The overall best at Bathurst tied Richard Hampstead and John Latham. 21 drivers have completed or finished all 3 Bathurst Run 1000 races that we have run and done. I'm amazed there's only 21 that have finished all 3. 33 drivers have started all 3. But yes, such a small number who have actually finished every single Bathurst 1000 that we've done.
Yeah, it is when you think about it. That said, it is one of the toughest races of the season, so it's by no means easy to do a race around Bathurst, let alone finish one that's 1,000 kilometres or 161 laps long.
See the list as well, talking about the ranking of the drivers. So position 1 there, Richard Hampstead and John Latham. We actually have awarded points as well to every driver or every position. So if you we ranked everyone. So if we ranked everyone, gave 100 points to first, 99 to second. Top 5 positions would be screen: John Latham, Richard Hampstead, Jared Philsell, Chris Coxhead, and Liam Wild. So Chris Coxhead, Liam Wild, they are both equal 4th. Obviously teamed up together for all 3 of those races. With the 3rd famously last season. But keeping it out of trouble, they've managed to find themselves in the top 5 best drivers at Bathurst in V8SCOPS.
Yeah, they have actually, and that's what endurance racing is about. It's all about playing it safe and being smart rather than going like a bat out of hell for the entire race, which if you do that, you're pretty good of a driver, but it is very risky to do that.
So on that list you see drivers ranked to 20th. Where do you think I might rank out of the 300 drivers that have started a Bathurst 1000? Remembering how terrible I am.
You're not that bad, come on. I'd say inside the top 50. I'm going to go with 35th position.
Oh, you're pretty close. Pretty close. 45th.
Oh, that's not too bad.
I'm actually one of those drivers that have finished 2 Bathurst 1000s. I'm 2 from 2. So, but yeah, 300 drivers have started a Bathurst 1000. Which I'm amazed that the number has been that high. 167 finished 1, but only 21 have finished all 3. And you can see the top 5 in that list have finished all 3 Bathurst 1000 races. Shows that you need to make sure that you actually finish. We say it how often? To finish first you must finish. Bathurst 1000 is definitely one of those races. And I tell you what, my voice is definitely starting to go. This isn't going to be too good. Just noticing the session has come up too for the shootout. So we're not too far away from getting footage through from the shootout. But big thanks to Hyperstimulator for their support of this round in V8SCOPS. Of course, tomorrow, bit of afternoon coverage tomorrow. We will have the EMR Super Cup as well as the Phillip Island 500. But a busy few days here at V8 Salon. We've got a fair bit going on this week. Got all sorts of events coming up. We've got the Endurance Cup starting next weekend with round 0 for that one. So make sure you tune in over the weekend. But if you are wanting to race, they are still looking for drivers. It is a test event this coming weekend. So if you are wanting to jump in and have a few laps. The HPD needing a few more drivers, so make sure you sign yourself up. But yeah, big few nights ahead here on V8's Line. Of course, tomorrow night we will have V8SCOPS. Tuesday night, the All-Star Shootout. Looking forward to that once again. Another fun event. The all-new Oceanic Sprint Championship Wednesday night. Start of the Cup Price Racing MX5 Challenge Thursday night. Next weekend, we will have the Oceanic Endurance Championship, and then backing it up with Carrera Cup Australia as well next weekend. Waiting for the drivers to join shootout session. No, we're both in there, Cam, but I don't think any of the drivers are yet.
Yeah, I don't think. Well, I think everybody should be joining now, but yeah, it's not many are in there at the moment by the looks of it.
Through very, very soon from qualifying session. Yeah, big few days ahead here at V8's Online. Live pictures through from the qualifying session, so we'll get some drivers in very, very soon. But yeah, as we said, if you are looking for something fun to drive, HPD does need drivers for the Oceanic Endurance Championship. So please make sure jump in, register your team. Be very, very cool. As will the All-Star Shootout. Looking forward to that once again. Some teams that have definitely gone all out this time. Team TTL, or TTL Esports, I should say. They've taken the All-Star route very, very literally. Just gone all out with the big guns. Josh Rogers.
Yes, they have.
And I think, I'm not sure who the second driver is, but I know Josh Rogers is definitely out there. But so, be the first driver to do All-Star Shootout for two different teams.
Yes, he would be actually, now that I think about it.
Of course, the Cup Price Racing MX5 Challenge as well. Thursday night, we had a test event for that this Thursday night just gone, and that was some of the most fantastic racing I have ever seen. So I was actually really disappointed we didn't broadcast that one, but looking forward to it this week. We will be at Bathurst, which will be awesome. The draft coming down Conrad Straight in these cars are absolutely fantastic, and the skill level of drivers at the top of the field will be very, very fun to watch. As just seeing all the drivers now start to join, which means that we are not far away from this shootout session going live. First car of Simon Black is just moving to the end of pit lane to make sure it's blocked off. On track. Waiting for a couple more drivers to jump in. Yeah, the track is definitely cooled off as well from what we saw earlier in the last qualifying session. The wind also moving direction a little bit now, coming from the southwest, so blowing up the main straight a little bit, so it'll be pushing them down out of Southern Loop. I mean, we'll see a little bit more speed coming up into Honda Hairpin. Guys will have to be a little bit more careful coming through that section of track. as we said, yeah, top 10, top 15 shootout. I keep wanting to say top 10 shootout, but top 15 shootout. Really looking forward to this. Will be very, very fun. First car that will go out will be Emily Jones. Just waiting for all of the drivers to join the session, and then they will await commands of the race administrators. But a couple more minutes before we will get this shootout underway. But this is always one of the most exciting parts of the endurance season that we have here. V8SCOPS, of course, we've got this 2 weeks time. We head to Bathurst for the Bathurst 1000, and then we have a little bit of a break while the real life V8 supercars have their endurance season, and we then move to Road Atlanta this time for the third enduro. Our alternate track that we seem to have for our third enduro. I'm really looking forward to Road Atlanta. I think it'll be a fantastic track for an endurance race. We'll have a 500k race there as well.
Yeah, it'll be actually quite interesting to see how it goes with Road Atlanta also being host to Petit Le Mans, the 10-hour race, or as it was formerly 1,000 kilometres. So, yeah, that should actually be quite an interesting race to watch and commentate on.
We finish the season off. We've got Road America, and I've got another track as well, but I've forgotten which track it is. Round 14, so you might be able to. Hope you can anyway.
I can't actually remember it myself,
No, I can't.
but I'll check Discord quickly because that'll shine some light rather quickly.
Oh, we're talking about Discord. If you haven't joined our Discord,
Monza,
please come.
that's the one.
Monza, that's right. It is at Monza because I remember I had to go and take screenshots for it the other day. So, if you haven't joined our Discord, please do. You can come and jump on, have a chat to all of us when we're not streaming. We're always up for a chat. You'll see some of us around or all of us around. So, yeah, make sure you come on and have a chat. Join the conversation. Plenty of chats going on, either voice and text. So, lots of fun had on our Discord. So make sure you come and jump along. Just waiting. It's now officially the end of the practice. But we are about ready to go. Flag is now out for the practice session. Means that now officially is qualifying, which means that we will get this shootout underway. First car to track. Emily Jones in the number 68. Did receive a message from Sandman, and he is very, very excited. First ever shootout start. Actually, no, second, because I did team with Muggo in the Bathurst 1000 a little while ago. Waiting, the drivers are just getting instruction from race control. How it all works, because there are a few that are in this for the first time. A little bit different to what normally would happen, but having the whole track to yourself is a big, big bonus.
Yeah, it is, but it's from a driver's standpoint, it's also a little bit nerve-wracking and daunting with the fact that you've got that pressure on you to try and get that perfect lap out.
And that there's probably more pressure the further we go into this shootout. Right at the start of the shootout, they've got absolutely nothing to lose. If you start qualified 14th and you start 14th or 15th, it doesn't matter. You've got everything to gain, nothing to lose right at the start. But those guys right at the front, they've got everything to lose. Front row starts from front row starts all the way back to starting in the 8th row and 15th position. That's a big, big loss.
Yeah, definitely. And should they get an off track or make a mistake, it's really going to hurt them, and they'll really be a bit annoyed with themselves.
Waiting for the first driver to hit the track for qualifying session, which now officially live. So waiting final instructions for all the drivers. Then we will get the shootout underway for the Phillip Island 500. Of course, tomorrow coverage of event starts from 2:30 Australian Eastern Standard Time. AMR Super Cup will be live first, and then we will have all the action from the 113 lap race, Phillip Island 500. Looking forward to it. Will be a lot of strategy play. Will be a few curveballs. Will be a bit of a mystery what will actually happen, but nonetheless will be one of the most exciting days in sim broadcasting we will have here at V8 Salon. One of our most favourite weekends, Phillip Island 500 and the Bathurst 1000. As we said, 2 weeks away for the Bathurst 1000. Looking forward to that as well. As we said, if you haven't had enough endurance racing with this as well, next weekend is a test event for the Oceanic Endurance Championship. We will be bringing coverage of that here at V8 Online. If you are looking to drive, please do. They are looking for more entries in the HPD class. So please make sure you register your interest. You guys would appreciate it with a few more cars in there. So good chance to jump on. I know that you don't mind driving the prototype cars, Cam. We've seen you drive a few prototype cars, albeit the C7, but...
Yeah, I don't mind driving those prototype cars. They're actually a bit of fun, whether it be a HPD or a Daytona prototype or anything in between. So yeah, they're actually quite a good car to drive. Also, the bonus is you're the top class, so you've got to navigate traffic rather than watch your mirrors the entire time for traffic. So yeah, if you're interested, be sure to jump aboard and have a go.
Yeah. Season proper will have 5 6-hour races and 1 12-hour race, and we'll have coverage of every race. Green flag to checkered here at V8 Online. Looking forward to that over the summer. Round 0 starting next weekend. Round 1 proper starting middle of October right through to January. Something very, very different. And then aligning that with the Oceanic Sprint Championship, which we're bringing to you starting Wednesday night. GT3 action will be red hot. Now there's 6 GT3 cars in the mix. Yeah, a very, very cool field of cars. In saying that, I think a lot of guys will go for the brand new Ferrari because it is quite a pretty looking car.
Yes, indeed it is. It's very sleek and very nice to drive in here.
Convenient controls. So apologies, we're just with race control. All that got everything in order. Underway. Be the first car out. Receives the message. I just noticed something a little bit left field. Now we see Dane Warren qualify the car 7. Not doing the shootout lap. Luke Harvey's doing the shootout lap in that car. That'll be interesting.
Yes.
That'll be very interesting. A little bit of a mix there.
Indeed, by the looks of it. I think it would probably be actually not too bad of an idea to put Luke in the car with how quick he is, but yeah, it'll be interesting to see how that goes and whether he actually does get a good lap in.
Strange thing is that out onto the track, the pace that Dane Warren has had in qualifying, we've seen it in the official series, we've seen it in V8SCOPS. He's been really quick in qualifying, so I'm actually a little bit surprised in that move. So there must be some sort of ploy from the team to do that. So obviously some sort of conscious effort that they've had to do that. Dane's got to go out. There you go. So Dane's got to go.
Yes, I've just seen that as well.
That makes it an easy decision.
Yes, indeed.
Well, we've got this tiny little bit of a wait for Emily to start this lap. Congratulations to Jake Burton, friend of V8s Online. He's advanced to the next round in the Aussie Driver Search. He competed in that at Sandown this weekend, which is why he's not actually out on track at the moment. Madison's at work. Jake's just got off a plane in Perth, and he's qualified for the final round of Aussie Driver Search. Well done to Jake. Of course, Aussie Driver Search, our friends here as well, supporters of our coverage of the official iRacing V8 Supercar Series, which starts next Monday night. Forward to that, we head to Spa. Tell you what, I wouldn't mind going over and tuning on Emily's Twitch stream at the moment, seeing how nervous she is. Would be very, very interesting to see.
Yeah, it would actually, and she'll probably be feeling the pressure a little bit, but hopefully not too much.
But here we go. About to start. Flying lap here for shootout qualifying. Phillip Island 500 shootout is underway. Lee Jones down the front straight. Start the flying lap. Nice and smooth through turn 1. A little bit wide at the start of turn 2, but looking nice and smooth. Coming back through Southern Loop. As we said, nothing to lose here. Can't start any worse than where you already were. Or a little bit of a lock-up. Bad. Nice through Siberia. This is pretty good. Pretty clean. Pretty controlled. Down MG. Make sure you get the apex here and get a good exit. Short shift. No wheel spin. That's good. Short shift again. And up through the last section of the track. Had to lift off the throttle though. And out of final corner, down the Gardner Straight. We'll cross the line. It's going to be in the 131s.
31.3.
First lap.
Yeah, it's not too bad of a lap time. So Brady Myers now coming out of pit lane, so we'll see what he can do as he's next out.
Good bank a lap too from Emily, just making sure that get the time in, make sure that you actually bank a time in. Starting from 15th, first car out, you've got absolutely nothing to lose. All you need is one car to make a mistake, and I don't think I've ever seen a qualifying session that we've done in these shootouts that there hasn't been one mistake made from one car, but good banking start lap there. Brady Myers, the next car out, will be driving with Gene Fitties in the big race tomorrow. Number 22. A little bit of an excursion on the dirt to start this lap. A bit different. So here we go. Brady Myers about to start this flying lap. Been doing a great job in qualifying recently and did a very, very good job in pre-qualifying. So if you can transfer that in this lap, you're looking to get very, very good starting position. Brady Myers through the final corner to start his flying lap. Got the top speed is down the front straight. 274 before he gets on the brakes. Through turn 1 up to Southern Loop. Probably could have been on the power a little bit earlier there because he didn't quite go out onto the curb on the outside, but nice and smooth through Southern Loop. Look pretty good so far. Under the brakes through onto hairpin, looks good so far. Nice and smooth, nice and controlled.
Ooh, bit of a wiggle there.
A little bit of a wiggle, just as I say, he's been nice and smooth. Always happens, that. Oh, big moment. Well, at least we know the commitment levels here from Brady Myers. They are 120%. He is on it for sure. Through Lukey Heights. Got a nail MG. Big lock up the first part of braking, but manages to get through the corner fairly safely. Turn 11, short shift, very, very nice. No wheel spin. Gotta get through this final corner and onto the Gardner Straight. Nice and smooth. Run wide. Off the track. So that is lap null and void. Brady Myers is out. This lap will not count. That is unlucky for Brady Myers. Wow. They'll gain a position instantly. Emily Jones and Stephen Sandman Clark.
And everybody else as well.
Everyone, yeah.
Don't go off.
Exactly. So Brady Myers will start this race from 15th. That is the one known that we have from this shootout session. Blacklock now on screen, teaming up with Kurt Stenberg. I know there's been a lot of infighting within the team over who the number one driver is in this combination, but Blacklock's been given the car to qualify, so Dory Stenny, I guess, should have relegated to number 2. Blacklock looking nice and smooth coming through turn 12 to get on to Gardner Straight down the hill. Nice and smooth. Apex there for Southern Loop. On the power nice and early. Very, very stable under brakes there, did Blacklock. So this looks fairly clean, right?
A little bit of wheel wear.
Yeah. Under brakes, it looks very, very controlled, but on throttle, it's just right on the edge at the moment, but manages to keep it under control as it stands right now.
Oh, that was very close.
Yep, almost ran off the track. Up through Lukey Heights, down the hill at MG. The wind will be helping here because it's blowing straight up the track at that point. Turn 11, short shift. Make sure you get no wheel spin coming out of there. Then onto the power through the final corner. down the front straight for this long run down the Gardner Straight. Time to beat is 1:31.3. Will he get there? Yes.
Yes, 30.8.
Lap there from Blacklock.
Yes, very, very impressive lap there. So we'll see what Jake Maloney can do next for the number 29 TTL Esports car. Just coming out of the hairpin now. Very slow on his lap as well, by the looks of it.
We're hearing that the track conditions are very, very hot, so very, very tough in that aspect. But yeah, Maloney's definitely going very, very slow. Maybe he's put extra bit of pressure in the tyres to counteract this very, very slow outlap. Here he goes to start it from here. And making sure you get no wheel spin. That second to last corner is probably one of the most underrated corners on the track because you just have to get out of the throttle and make sure he short shifts so much. But Maloney will start this flying lap.
Oh, looks like he struggled to get it rotated there.
Yeah. Too bad, but probably could have been a bit better through one. Looking not too bad through Southern Loop. Run now to Stoner Corner. Hard on the brakes. Very, very nice and controlled.
Oh, struggling to get the power down there out of the hairpin.
Same trouble that everyone seems to be having, not with braking, it's control out of the corner. The guys that will be running towards the end of this session will be watching and seeing what they're doing here. Very committed through Hayshed up to Lukey Heights, up the hill. But the wind will be helping here down through MG. Little bit of a headwind. Second to last corner. Commonly post when he crosses the line. Looks like it's the quickest, I think.
1 minute 30.806, so yes it is.
Wow,
By 100th.
Yep.
9,000. 9,000ths.
Good lap from Maloney. That's all you need. It doesn't matter how many thousandths it is. But that was very, very close. Maloney does hit Blacklock. Willie Jones back to fourth. Now wait for Michael Schreier, the next driver out on track in the number 30. Wow, I can't believe how close those two times were.
Yeah, it's pretty close. So I've only got through about 4 drivers at the moment, so going to be interesting to see what happens when we come down to the last time from Rogers.
Through the final corner goes Schreier. Now one of only 2 to participate in every single shootout that we have run here. V8SCOPS. That was committed coming into turn 1, but he's missed the apex.
Oh, he's
running wide. Oh, just pulled it up. That was close. He's managed to save the lap.
If you want track limits, that's as close as you're going to get to it.
Nice and committed under brakes into Honda hairpin. It's a power down, probably the best we've seen.
Actually, yeah, much better than anyone else has so far.
course, the throwback livery, retro livery, Shreya and Goldfinch running. Got Glenn Seaton racing entries from the early 90s. 1993, this livery is based on. Shreya through the final corner on his shootout lap. Power down nice and early. Pretty quick. Not quite enough. I think he's going to slot into third.
31.007, so yeah.
2/10 off. Shreya in third position. Our next driver out.
Brenton Hobson by the looks of it.
Yeah, Hobbo out on track. Hobbo, no stranger to racing these sort of races. Here we go. Hobbo ready to start his flying lap.
And now the pressure is on because from this point onward, it's the top 10 drivers.
Nice from Hobbo there. He's very, very wide coming through Honda hairpin. Power down very, very early as well.
Very stable as well.
Yep. A short shift through Siberia as well to help. Dropped it back an extra gear. Got the car turned in very, very well.
Looking like quite a good lap by the looks of it at this stage.
Looking nice and controlled, isn't he? Up over the heights, down on the brakes. The MG just clips the apex. Front wheel on the curb. This is looking nice and smooth at the second half of the lap. Through turn 12 onto Gardner Straight. Start finish line. What time will he post? Tell you what, it's close. Jumps into third.
30.950.
Very, very close lap time. He'll be quickly getting out a message to his teammate Jordan Ross, who is halfway through his warm-up lap. Try and give him some information about what's happening out on track, how it's all going, what to do, what needs to be changed. Jordan Ross, another driver that we probably need to watch in the future. He's definitely starting to come along a long way now. Starting to move up towards the front of the field. We've seen him to be very, very competitive. Here we go. Start this flying lap, Jordan Ross. Honda beat is 130.8. Very committed. Into turn one. Looking nice and smooth. Power down nice and early through. Turn two. Down the chute. Tailwind. Pushing the car. Shallow line through Honda. But
bit of wheel spin as well.
Yeah,
They kept Honda.
saying that
Not
the guys that have actually had wheel spin out of Honda have been the quicker guys. The guys that look controlled are the ones that have had a little bit slower times.
Yeah, it's quite interesting that.
This is looking pretty good though from Jordan Ross. Down the hill. On the hairpin. We go. What time will this be? Coming up to the start finish line. Across the line. Think you'll go to the top.
30.723.
Does. 8 hundredths of a second ahead of Jake Maloney. Very, very good lap. Next up will be Ethan Griggoult. Very, very strong pairing, Ethan Griggoult, Ian Ford. Top drivers we have in this series. They'll be very, very competitive throughout this endurance campaign.
Yeah, they definitely will, and they'll probably be up the front, I'd say, with likes of Rogers and Down and those sort of guys.
There'll be definitely a car, this car number 15, that we will see fighting for a podium position about 7 o'clock Sunday evening. Here we go. Start of this flying lap for Ethan Griggoult. What speed he can get coming down Gardner Straight. Looked very, very good. The exit of turn 12. 75. Car's definitely a little bit slower than what we saw in the qualifying session before, as is completely evident by the times, but you can tell the speed down the front straight is also a tad slower. This lap through turns 1 and 2 looking nice and smooth. Nice amount of curb through turn 3. Donor corner up to Honda. Nice wide entry, wide exit, clips the apex. This looks smooth. A little bit of a wiggle coming out of the corner, which we know hasn't been too much of a downfall on these laps as well.
Yeah, it's been quite interesting actually. The fact that the guys that have really thrown the cars around have actually gone quicker. So yeah, that's quite interesting. Although that said, in real life, you don't really see the guys up the front just turning the car and being really smooth. They're really rough with it and trying to throw it around and everything.
Through turn 11, see how quick he can get the power on. Gets the power on fairly early, a little bit of a wiggle. So as we said, we know that that's not too slow. A little bit of a slide coming up into turn 12. This looks quick. Big slide at the exit though.
Ooh.
Wow. This has been committed. This is quick. This is quick.
30.550 straight
Great
to the
lap.
top.
Nearly 2/10 in the end as well. Great lap there from Ethan Griggoult. Goes to the top of the timesheets. And that puts pressure on the next driver, which is Mitchell Ciolak. That's a quick lap. And we know that the guys that were from first back through to about 5th were only separated by around about 3 to 4 tenths. There's not much between these guys that would have got on track now and the guys that have already been. The quick lap with a big time advantage like Ethan Griggoult there is going to put a lot of pressure on drivers that we've got up now. Mitchell Ciolak. Let's see what speed Ciolak can get up to. 280 down the main straight. Definitely got A little bit of a tweak setup from what we saw with Ethan Griggold, the RT car. Oh, big moment up through Honda hairpin. Yolak down through MG. Another big wiggle. But still looks quick at the same time. Through the final corner. Onto the front straight. Comes Siolak. The line is in 31s, I think.
31.074, so that's 7th.
It's dropped a lot of spots. That'll be a bit disappointing for Siolak, but there were the two big mistakes at the two hairpins. That has cost him time. Up, we got the Synergy Sim Racing number 89 entry, Wayne Burke at the wheel. Up with Dean O'Brien. These guys will be a strong pairing as well. O'Brien, very, very consistent driver, and Wayne Burke, we know he has great pace, so expect to see something at the end of the day on Sunday when this race is over. Expect to see these guys up towards the front. Got speed 276 for Burke. Very, very good through 1 and 2. A little bit of grass through Stoner Corner, but he's still managed to keep the car nice and settled through Honda. He's on the power early out of Honda and into Siberia, and looking very, very strong here too. This is looking pretty good.
Yeah, it's not looking like it's too bad of a lap, actually.
The commitment levels here, up through Lukey Heights, into MG. Little bit of a lock-up down in MG, but it hasn't hurt him too much in regards to time. So Wayne Burke through second to last corner, coming up to turn 12, and onto Gardner Straight. Needs to get a good exit here on the power very, very early. See what time he can get. Target time of 1:30.5. Crosses the line.
1:30.669.
Yep, so jumps in
So
the second. Pretty good lap time, because I think that lap from Ethan is probably 2/10 quicker than the rest of the field at the moment as it stands. So Wayne Burke essentially doing the same lap times as to what we would expect. That lap from Ethan Griggold, very, very good lap time.
Yeah, it is, and it's going to be probably quite a hard time to beat for the guys that are going to be going out later in the session.
Everyone asking about sector times. I did try and get them working for the overlays before this event, but I couldn't quite get them working, so I'll try and get them all sorted for Bathurst with our new overlay graphics. Postlethwaite 276 coming into turn 1. Very, very committed. Oh, I had to get out of the throttle though.
Oh,
Big moment. Got through turn 2 okay though, so may not have hurt him too much. He might have to gain a little bit of time here if he can, but a little bit of a moment through turns, between turns 1 and 2 have hurt him a little. But that looks very, very nice through Honda. The power fairly early. Nice and controlled coming out of Honda as well. A little bit wide at Siberia. He's missed the apex. Cost him a bit of time at Siberia as well. Down under brakes into MG. That looks very, very smooth. So coming through turn 11 up to the final corner. Got time Postlethwaite can put together.
oh, that was very
That was
close.
commitment plus. Across the line. This actually looks like a decent lap time. I think he's going to slot into second.
30.760.
Into
Fourth.
fourth. That's 11 out of our 15 done. We've got 4 to go. Next driver out on track is Forzen El Nabi. Teaming up with Marlon McMullen. A very, very strong pairing. It seems as though getting that speed down the front straight isn't necessarily key. It's making sure that we get the braking points and that corner exits right to actually get these lap times in. Guys that have been fastest down the straight haven't actually capitalised on it with good lap times. El Nabi 276.
The internet dramas just then, but
Yep.
doesn't look like it's a bit of a problem at all now.
Yeah, it looks like it's all settled, so
Oh, never mind.
Right on cue, another little glitch for him, but El Nabi, see how committed he is coming through Stoner Corner. The wind will be helping. Hard on the brakes. Will he make the apex? He does. A little bit of an internet glitch at the same time. Big slide, but still kept into it, so hasn't hurt him too much. Nice through Siberia. Coming up to Hayshed. And the hill at Hayshed. How controlled it is here. Shallow entry. Shallow exit, gets the power down early. Short shift. This looks good. Going to be right at the same time as Ethan Grid Gould, I think. Oh, great exit. I think it's a 30.6 or 30.5.
30.643, so that's straight to second.
Just behind Ethan Grid Gould by 10th. Very, very good lap.
And now it's showtime. The pressure's on for Jared Philsell.
So Phil Sell, Luke Harvey, and Josh Rogers, the last 3 cars to go. That lap from Ethan Grid Gould looks even better now that El Nabi's in behind as well. So, see what Phil Sell can do. Target time will be a 1:30.5. Beat that time. All he needs. 275 down the front straight. Nice and settled through turn 1 into Southern Loop. Good there too. Nice under brakes. A little bit of a slide, but don't think that's hurt him any time. The Siberia, still looking good.
This is going to be quick, I reckon.
I think so too. Oh, that's T
Ooh.
coming into MG. I didn't think he was going to make the apex there, and he's made it beautifully. Very, very good exit. Nice through turn 11. Power down nice and early.
Oh, we got on the
Big
grass
slide.
a little bit.
Big slide between 11 and 12. On the power early again.
Oh,
On
it's a
the
bit
grass
wide.
again. This is going to be
Here
a
we go. This
great
is
lap
going to be
time.
marginal.
Is he going to get it?
30.549.
Oh, 1/1000. 1/1000th of a second. He takes first position away from Ethan Grigalt. What a lap time. Wow.
Unbelievable.
Wow, what a time. 1/1000 of a second for Ethan Grigalt behind. Wow. Oh. Get your breath. We're up 2 to go. Luke Harvey next. Do you think Luke Harvey will be feeling a little bit of pressure? I mean, his teammate Dane Warren qualified the car for him into P2. Jumped on, done no practice, jumped straight into shootout. Got to start, this is the second last car. Here we go. Luke Harvey to start this qualifying run. 274 down the front straight. Looks nice and smooth through 1 and 2. Coming out of Southern Loop, looks nice and controlled. Nice through Stoner Corner. Very committed. Looks good as well through Honda hairpin. A little bit of oversteer, yeah. Nice and controlled still though. That nice controlled slide. Nice through Siberia as well. So now the run up to Hayshed. Up the hill through Lukey Heights. And down under brakes. Very, very late on the brakes in MG. A little bit of a lock-up, but still managed to hit the apex. Lap still looks nice and smooth. Looking good.
Oh, a big twitch there out of turn 11.
See what lap time this is for Luke Harvey. Line. 50.9.
1 minute. 1 minute 30.962. That's 10th.
So, front row start for Jared Philsell, Josh Muggleton.
And now the pressure is on
Absolute pressure now.
for Rogers, who is going extremely slow. And doesn't have a motor running for some reason.
happening?
I'm not entirely sure. I'm scratching my head now.
I'm confused. I think. Go back. Start again.
It looks like it.
We might find out after the qualifying is done. We'll endeavour to try and find the info out, but we'll see. We may not get the info to you, but we'll find out if we can. If we know, you'll know. So Josh Rogers teaming up with Richard Hampstead. Definitely would favour themselves as the favourite for this event. One of the strongest pairings out there. Advantage to them with Madison Down and Jake Burton not qualifying. So they'll start this race in 39th position. Big advantage for Rogers and Hampstead if they can start it from first. But if they start it from 14th, that will be almost a disaster.
Indeed it will, and it'll make life just that little bit harder for them. Rightio, it is time to see what the man himself, Josh Rogers, can do in the shootout. He's the last man on track, and he's got one opportunity to try and put it on pole. Here we go.
It's going to be on. It's 275 before he gets it into turn one. Looks very, very good through turn two.
I think if we had cameras in the garage of TTL and TTR, it would be very, very tense.
I would agree. Short shift through the middle of Honda there to make sure he can get the power down early, and he actually hits the dirt on the exit and the entry to Siberia. Tell you what, this lap actually feels very, very slow. You know what that usually means. It's very quick.
It's going to be very quick.
But it doesn't look committed at all. It just looks like he's out for a leisurely drive. Whatever happens after this, there will be bound to be controversy. Nice and smooth through MG. Josh Rogers through the last section of the track, making the run onto the front straight. Very, very controlled coming through the exit of that corner. You'll cross the line. Will it be enough?
1 minute 30.477. That is pole for the 500.
Great lap from Josh Rogers.
Yes, very, very relaxed and amazingly looking slow, but as I say, if it looks slow, it's going to be quick.
We'll endeavour to find out what the actual issue was where Rogers reset back to the pits, because, yeah, whatever happens, that's going to be controversial. But as it stands right now, Josh Rogers will start tomorrow's Phillip Island 500, teaming up with Richard Hampstead alongside Jared Philsall, Ethan Griggle from third, Forzen Nabi fourth. Ethan Griggle has been the winner out of this qualifying session, though. He's jumped a few spots. I think he was 8th. He's now up to 3rd. On screen is the 15 cars that ran in the shootout. We've got Josh Rogers, Jared Philsell, Ethan Griggault, Fozan Al Nabi, Wayne Burke, Jordan Ross, and Glenn Postlethwaite, Jake Maloney, Kurt Stenberg, and Sam Blacklock 9th, Brenton Hobson 10th, Luke Harvey in 11th, Michael Schreier 12th, Mitchell Ciolak in 13th, Emily Jones 14th, Brady Myers in 15th position. But number one spot, as it stands right now, Josh Rogers and Richard Hampstead. What an eventful night of racing it has been. Tomorrow is going to be epic. I cannot wait. I know I'm looking forward to it. I know you will be too. I can't even. Too excited. Bring it on. Bring it on.
Yeah, definitely. It's going to be an absolutely awesome race. I can't wait either. I'm probably not going to be able to sleep tonight because of it. But yeah, it's going to be absolutely awesome. It's going to be probably a battle of heavyweights, TTL Esports versus Trans-Tasman Racing. So yeah, it's going to be one hell of a show tomorrow.
I don't think we've heard the last of what's happened in that final run as well, but we'll go and we'll double check, triple check the rule book, but go from there. The stewards have made a decision for now, and we'll have an answer tomorrow. Our coverage will start at 2:30 p.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time and run right through until the conclusion of the Phillip Island 500 around about 7 p.m. tomorrow night. Really looking forward to it. Cam, thank you so much for jumping in the booth. We will have Reese back with us tomorrow night, and it should be a very, very fun night.
Yes, indeed it will be very action-packed and a little bit long, but otherwise very, very entertaining.
Before we go, we will take this opportunity to enjoy Reese's fantastic fact file video, because I know everyone has been hanging out for Reese's voice. So thank you for watching. We will see you tomorrow night. And bring on the Phillip Island 500.
Barely off the coast of Victoria, a couple of hours' drive from Melbourne and located right on the cliffside, the Phillip Island Grand Prix circuit is a popular and classic Australian motorsports venue. Its lap is fairly short, but the speed and flow of this track is unmatched by any other circuit in Australia. Starting and ending with high-speed, high-load turns, and with heavy braking zones and flowing terrain-hugging bends in between, Phillip Island has served as an example of what a high-speed racetrack can be for over 60 years. Phillip Island's story begins before the current circuit was built. Racing on Phillip Island began in 1928. A rectangular circuit made out of the roads around the township of Cowes was used for the 100 miles road race, which is now considered the first Australian Grand Prix. A variety of layouts were used until 1936, upon which a new triangular layout was used until 1940. Racing activities then ceased as a result of World War II. In 1951, a group of local businessmen got together to build a permanent circuit on Phillip Island. The Phillip Island Auto Racing Club was formed to finance the building of what was intended to be Australia's first international Grand Prix circuit. 7,000 memberships at £10 each were sold to finance the track. The design brief was simple: create the fastest circuit in Australia. Every turn was to be designed to make the fastest and most challenging layout possible. The original design was pretty much exactly the same as what was eventually built, but with one major difference. The direction was clockwise. It drew the skepticism of the investors because the proposed start of the lap complied with Victorian road safety regulations, which required a bend of a certain speed to gradually get slower as it continued. This went against the vision of the club, who did not want this kind of gradually slowing turn, so a simple solution was proposed: reverse the circuit's direction. Thus, Phillip Island was set in stone, or rather, earth, when an Alfa Romeo traced the route of the track and certified it as above the 3-mile minimum length for international circuits. The construction of the track was fraught with delays and engineering hurdles, one of which was largely due to the bridge connecting the island to the mainland. which before the 1980s was not strong enough to hold the weight of the massive surfacing machinery needed to surface the track with durable hot mix bitumen. This forced the owners of the track to use cold mix bitumen, which in time would not stand up to the pounding it would receive from cars racing on it. The circuit finally opened in 1956 with an overwhelmingly positive reception. The status of the track quickly grew and culminated in the organisation of the Armstrong 500 in 1960. By 1962, however, the surface had indeed been destroyed by the cars, and so the Armstrong 500 moved to Mount Panorama, where it eventually became the Bathurst 1000. The circuit came under new ownership in 1964 with an eye to redevelopment and reopened in 1967. The Phillip Island 500 endurance race was held for the first time in 1971, but by 1978 the surface had become unusable for racing once again, and the circuit was closed. The track lay mostly abandoned, aside from club sprints and historic rallies, for the next decade. Then in 1985, the track was purchased by Placetac and refurbished. The circuit was resurfaced, finally with bitumen that would last. The facilities were upgraded to modern standards, and the layout underwent its only change in the circuit's history. The Turn 4 hairpin was moved forward and tightened to avoid the lake in the middle of the facility. The refurbishment of the circuit was a resounding success, resulting in the track beginning a long history of hosting the Australian Motorcycle Grand Prix in 1989 and the World Superbike Championship in 1990. Since then, along with V8 supercars holding events there, Phillip Island has cemented its place among the elite of Australia's motorsport venues. Phillip Island has been another iRacing V8 supercars mainstay, being introduced to the service with the original car back in 2012. Phillip Island was also the site of the first ever V8's online broadcast. This place has history in online racing as much as real life. 500 kilometers of racing awaits.
We are back for a quick moment. Just waiting for confirmation from Race Control. Regards to the issue with Josh Rogers. And I can confirm Rogers will start from 15th on the grid So the decision is there was a penalty earned by Rogers for reversing back into the pits when told to go to pit exit and wait. Received an unsafe release notice, which we, as in race control, could not clear. Admin instructed him to escape and restart. Because the penalty is caused by the driver and not an iRacing issue, it equates to a self-made mistake, same as an incident X, and invalidates his lap. Rogers will start from 15th on the grid for tomorrow's race. Those are the words from race control, not me. So please do not shoot the messenger. But Rogers will start from 15th, so your pole sitter will be Jared Philsell and Josh Muggleton. So bring on tomorrow. Will be an entertaining race. And we cannot wait. Cam's still here with me. Cam, it's going to be fun. Whatever happens tomorrow, either way, it will be great.
Yeah, it definitely will. Unfortunate for Rogers to have that happen. It's never something you want to have happen, to be have your pole position taken away from you, but rules are rules at the end of the day, and you need to follow them. So yeah, that's unfortunate, but hey, it's 113 laps, 500 kilometers, and anything can happen in that time space. So they've just got to keep their heads high and hope for the best, really.
Exactly. So it's still being discussed quite intensely, but as it stands right now, we thought once we got the word and we were still live, we'd give you the word that we had. So we will wrap it up now. Thanks again, Cam, and we will see you all tomorrow. So thanks for tuning in. We'll be back tomorrow here on V8S Online.